warm good evening to all of you. So, today's session is going to be about the beautiful divine masculine energy, sacred masculine energy, or natural masculine energy, whatever names we give to it. And as there are a few new people, I'll just explain a little bit about how these calls go. So, in these calls, these open discussions, it's not going to be a one-way delivery call where we only share things. It's going to be an interactive sessions. You all can share your experiences, stories. You can ask your questions. So we are going to keep it interactive. Right. So that's that about a little bit about today's session, about how these sessions go, and about today's session, we are going to talk about the journey from wounded masculine to divine masculine. So before this, we had a conversation 2 days ago on the journey from a wounded feminine to divine feminine. And this call is going to be a continuation of that, but there are many new things we're going to cover in this call. So all of you, I would request you all, as soon as that call is uploaded on the YouTube channel, and those of you who had not attended that, please go and watch that or listen to that audio again. And today also, we are going to talk a little bit about those aspects which we have already discussed before, and something new in the context of divine masculine. So, yes, now coming to the most important point before we begin the session is that we need to understand it very, very clearly that when we are talking about masculine and feminine, we are not talking about men and women. We are talking about energies, and each one of us, everything, not just humans, but everything which exists, it has both of these elements, the masculine element as well as the feminine element in itself. So even if you are a man, you have to work on both of these elements within yourself. If you are a woman, you also have to work on both of these elements. Now, yes, so let's begin the session. And over to all of you guys, I would like to know from all of you, when we say this word divine masculine, what are the characteristics that you can remember? How do you relate to this energy? How do you think and feel about this energy? So anybody would like to say a few things? Okay, cool. So let's talk about divine masculine and wounded masculine characteristics a little bit. So when it comes to divine masculine characteristics, what are the traits that a divine masculine, sacred masculine, that energy of us, carries? So that energy has the power of taking actions. So it's a more action-oriented energy in us. It is the energy which is confident, which is assertive, which is, how should I say, courageous. It's very brave, and it's the energy which is which goes out and gets all of these things done, and it's a very accountable energy, like a protector, provider kind of energy. It's very logical, intellectual in nature. So it's more of a thinker and aspect of us. It's very responsible. It has a lot of integrity, and it has a lot of focus, stability, direction. So that's some of the characteristics of masculine energy. So it's kind of, if you just go within yourself and connect with that masculine part of us, regardless of your gender, you will see that it's the energy which is active, which is active in nature, which like the energy which is moving in nature. It goes up and it gets work done, be it at home, be it outside. You go and you're getting things done. It's the masculine energy at play. So that's that. And when the same energy, right? So when there are wounds in the masculine energy, so the same energy which is assertive in nature, it becomes aggressive in nature, right? So masculine energy is a beautiful energy. So it speaks very clearly with a lot of clarity, and it just says speaks its words out. But if there is a lot of wounds which are there in the masculine energy, the wounded parts of masculine comes out as um, competition, a lot of competition, a lot of control. There is a lot of abuse. So all of these violence, and there is so much tension, and that stress, and that fight and war that we see, that happens when there is a lot of wounded masculine energy, right? So there's a lot of dominance which gets over, and there is it's really hard for then for the wounded masculine to give up control. So it starts to control like everything that comes on his way, right? So I'm using this his or her pronoun, I'll be using it, but that at no point means we are talking about genders. So I'm only using these pronouns to understand the masculine and feminine energy in us. So that's a little bit about what natural masculine and looks like, and how it becomes very different, very dominant, and very aggressive when it becomes wounded in nature. So that's that. Another thing is that masculine energy is more electric in nature. Masculine energy is the one outward facing energy which is more projective in nature, and it's the thinker aspect of us. So also when this energy goes out of balance, if we observe in today's world, too much thinking. So we try to figure out everything by analysis, by logic, by understanding. So we become too much mind oriented, and at the same point of time, this energy in us, when it rejects or repels or suppresses the feminine, everything, all the energy is now flowing to the mind. So it's like there is this chasing going on 24/7. You get up in the morning, and there is this hustling, bustling, and so much running happening throughout the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and there is structure everywhere. The whole day is structured, and you're not taking out any time to relax, to just be still, to just take out time for yourself, to take care of yourself, to just enjoy and have fun and have joy and just simply be, because we have moved too much towards the energy of thought. And we think that every answer has to come from the space of thinking. So this reminds me of a Q&A session we were doing for all the women about the Shakti element retreat which we do. And it's not just about men who have gone into this wounded masculine, or even women are going through the same thing. So when we talk about flow, when we talk about things happening effortlessly, right? Just things happening on its own, and you're just simply participating and playing a part in it. It becomes so hard for us to even imagine that, or even to think, even to accept or feel that, is it even possible? So the mind again starts questioning that, is it even possible to be in flow and be in this, and it's just things happening and all that, because um, we have suppressed and kind of put the feminine energy within us a little bit aside, and we have like worn our shows, and we are like running and running all the time, right? But that doesn't make us any productive, and it's like it's the energy because of which we burn out, because there's so much doing happening. So this energy is also a doer energy. This energy is also a giver energy. So in the previous session, when we were talking about the feminine energy, we were talking about how receptive, inward moving, uh, intuitive, heart focused the feminine energy is. But when we can completely disconnect to that, and we just keep that aside, we move too much to actions and thoughts. We disconnect with the intuitive part of us, right? The part that gives us the direction in which we are going. So we are running and we are working really hard, hustling all the time, but then we are going in all different directions because we are not listening to the intuitive side of us, right? So that is a little bit from my side of how these wounded masculine, natural masculine energies are playing out in the general daily life scenario also, if we observe. So this is how it looks. Mm. So now over to you guys. Can any of you relate to this? Any of you are going through this? Anything, any kind of work that you have done when it comes to connecting with both of these energies? Yes, Seema, you would like to share something?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Anamika, Akarna, Kumar, Vanshika.
Good evening.
Am I audible?
You are, but your voice is a little
Yeah,
creaky.
Is
it's
it okay?
breaking a little.
Is it all right now?
Yes, yes.
It is. Okay. So, uh, if I want to share about the wounded masculine and what is versus healthy, is that I think I have come across men's and women also, me also maybe. Like we know it's energy based, it's nothing to do with the men or the women. It's totally about the energy. So for me, uh, if I have to share that what wounded look like as a masculine, I've seen that.
सीमा अभी भी थोड़ी डिस्टरबेंस है. It's like breaking in between.
Okay, just
एकदम
give me a
स्मूथ नहीं
second.
है बात.
Acha, just give me a second. Maybe I'm on my AirPods, so I just disconnect and be on the normal. Yeah, just give me a second.
ठीक है. हाँ.
Am I fine?
So anyone who wants to talk after Seema, you can just raise your hand and then we will come to you.
So am I
Is Seema?
audible now?
Yes. थोड़ा
So
और
fine.
बोलो तो.
Is it fine now?
हाँ, इतना जब when you say is it fine तो उतना फाइन होता है, फिर आगे ज्यादा बोलते हैं. थोड़ा और बोलोगी तो पता चलेगा. हाँ. Let's
Oh,
see.
okay. Fine. Let's see. If it is not fine, then let me know. Yeah.
हाँ, अभी
So,
ठीक लग रहा है.
yeah, so I was just describing what a wounded masculine looks like is that person is themselves not very much emotionally available to themselves. And when they are not emotionally available to oneself, I think they are not emotionally available for the others. They have nothing to do with emotions then. They are very detached and very like on a superficial level, they will be like connected in a relationship, whether it's a man or a woman, and they everything has to do with the control and manipulation, and they are so insecure in themselves that they need all the manipulation and control in a relationship, whereas if you see a healthy person, they are so secure in themselves, they have nothing to do with judging or controlling or have to manipulate. They'll be just be themselves and help others, like just like that. I mean, they don't need to prove a point that I'm this, I'm that, and they're so grounded and so humble, whereas I've come across people who say that they have healed themselves, but still, when their ego plays, they even don't realize that they are coming from the wounded self, which the part is still very wounded. So they just want to prove their point, and it's nothing to do with the like a conversation where the two individuals can converse. It's only about them because they just want to win it and control the entire thing. And I think most of the times I feel from my experience that when a person is imbalanced with energies, abuse is also seen. If a masculine is very wounded, they are very abusive in a relationship, they'll bully, and whereas a healthy person doesn't need to, and they're not even afraid of that like being vulnerable. So they're very okay to be vulnerable. They're very down to earth people, grounded in themselves, humble. Whereas the other person feels like the other person is only trying to attack them, and they are so insecure because of their own fears that they feel that, oh, it's something they have to manipulate, bring up to the table in a very I'm not getting the word for it. So this is what looks like to me, a wounded and a healthy masculine. This is what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing, Seema. Yeah, so that's true. That's true. Whenever negative situations come up, then only, our wounds show up more. And at that point of time, when we are operating from a wounded masculine imprint, we try to control everything. We try to dominate and abuse the other person, and just get our way. And when it goes to the other side of wounded feminine, we just give in, right? But that giving in cannot go on forever because you're not getting your needs met there. So that turns out to manipulation. And in wounded masculine, it turns out as aggression. Hmm? And one beautiful part is both of these things can coexist in us. So when we talk about the wounded states in us, hmm, so the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine kind of are working together, right? So if you have wounded masculine in you, it could be more. It could be more, but still it will always have a wounded feminine counterpart walking with it. Hmm? And they both are inside fighting for each other, fighting from each other. Hmm? And they are, maybe sometimes one is protecting the other, another is protecting the first one. And these kind of mechanism is going on inside us. But when we do the integration work of integrating, harmonizing, bringing into balance both of these energies, feminine cannot come into balance if we disregard the masculine. So it has to take into account masculine. Masculine cannot come into its power by disregarding the feminine. It has to take feminine into, it has to bring it into picture. So it's kind of impossible to separate these energies. So we use all of these terminologies for understanding, but the thing is, they are inseparable, be it in the wounded state, be it in the divine state. The only difference, after harmonizing, after integrating these energies in us, is that we are polarized. Kind of, we are like a pendulum which is going on the right or which is going on the left when we are in the wounded state. In the natural state, we kind of find the balance, and that balance does means, so when we talk about divine feminine, divine masculine, we say that, but the thing is, there is no masculine or feminine left, because both of them have now integrated so well that they have come into complete harmony with each other within ourselves. So we have no problem using any of these traits, be it a masculine trait, be it a feminine trait. So we just develop this kind of compassion also, this kind of clarity also, this kind of direction also. We are flowy, we are allowing, but we are also assertive, and we have no problem in accessing both of these energies. Hmm? So when we reach this divine state, there is no distinction as such left. To understand, we talk about these characteristics, but in the truest sense, because now the pendulum has harmonized in between, it has come in between. There is that from that place we can access both of the sides. Hmm? So still both of the energies are present, but then none of these energies are out of balance, so much out of balance that it would lead to manipulation, or it would lead to abuse of power. So that is
Yeah,
a
they
little
will.
bit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there won't be any competition, you know. You're not competing with one another. If you're talking, the energies are within us, then there will be no competition. That will be just a balance. I have a query here, and that is, what if you are behaving from your balanced state, like in feminine, or masculine, whatever, and you are having a conversation normally with somebody, but you are also seeing that the person is um, very rigid about their mindset, assumptions, and they have only one point of view, and that is them. Maybe they are trying to help you, but they are not listening to you. So in that particular point of time, I want to understand, if I'm behaving from a balanced state, and should I'm behaving like fine, but then the other person is not at all in a place to hear me out and concludes beforehand. In that particular time, even if I'm balanced in my both energies, and I see a wounded masculine in the person, that he's trying to win that conversation, the battle is there, so much of long cut short manipulation is happening, and you're not able to tell that person that, listen, I'm just trying to tell you this, that you have a point of view and I heard you, fine, I heard you, but there is no space. So is it right that I have like I'm able to see the wounded masculine, or is it like, am I also like not able to
Uh, yes, that's a very good question that you said. So um, इसके लिए the question you have asked is a little complex. So first of all, when you say कि I am in balanced state, I can see that, right? तो पहले तो वही assess करने की जरूरत है कि are you really? क्योंकि when you will be in that balanced state, then a feeling of disturbance will not be there. So, in the sense that you can see कि the other person may be coming from whatever state, you can see it, you can feel it, but you will not feel disturbed to push yourself. So, if there is still some urge is coming that you need to still push your point across this person, when you can see somebody is completely unfair
Mhm.
in their way, then maybe the question comes that maybe you have not reached that balanced state yourself yet.
Okay, but what if I have been given them, like from time to time in the conversation, it's been like this. I've given enough chances, or like I have been very
It
much
doesn't matter.
humble. No, huh?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Number of chances, all these things don't matter because I'll give you an example.
Okay.
You have a son, right? So many a times your son will do things that will trigger you and all that. But
Right. Right.
having said that, there will be many situations where you will still show a lot of compassion, even knowing कि उसको 10 बार बता दिया 20 बार बता दिया उसके बाद भी he
Hmm.
is doing something, you will still operate from some compassion,
Right. Right.
right? So that
Right.
is the feminine state. So number of times अगर दिमाग में आ रहा है कि 5 बार बोल दिया 10 बार बोल दिया और उसके बाद भी अगर ये आ रहा है तो फिर अभी भी बैलेंस नहीं आया है. जब
Okay.
तक वो
Okay.
पूरा ड्रॉप नहीं हो रहा है ना कि when you can see the other person is not capable, तो इसमें
Mhm.
नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स मैटर ही कहाँ कर रहा है फिर. अगर कोई
Okay.
स्टूपिड है तो है,
Hmm. Hmm.
तो
Hmm.
एक तो फिर नंबर ऑफ आपके नंबर ऑफ टाइम से उसकी स्टूपिडिटी थोड़ी ड्रॉप हो जाने वाली
Exactly. Yeah.
है, राइट?
You're right. Maybe
तो
the checking has to be done on my end. Yeah.
तो चेकिंग हैज टू बी डन ऑन योर एंड कि इज इट स्टिल ट्रिगरिंग यू, इज इट स्टिल अपसेटिंग डिस्टर्बिंग, मे बी शायद बहुत ज्यादा नहीं हो रहा हो, कम हो रहा हो, लेकिन हो तो रहा
हाँ.
ही है ना. तो अगर हो रहा
हाँ.
है तो व्हाई कॉल इट सो अर्ली टू से कि मेरा तो बैलेंस हो गया है. नहीं हुआ है
Right.
ना अभी.
नहीं, yeah, otherwise it would have not mattered. Yeah, very true.
इट वुड
Very
नॉट
true.
मैटर इन द सेंस कि यू कैन सी कि हाँ
See, yeah,
ऐसे लोग
yeah.
हैं कि ये है.
है.
ये एक एक्सेप्टेंस का लेवल है जहाँ पे आपको दिख रहा है कि वो वैसा ही है और कितना भी
Right.
समझा लो कुछ भी कर लो वो वैसे ही होने
Hmm.
रहने वाला है. तो एक
Hmm.
लेवल की जो एक्सेप्टेंस आती है या यू वर्क फ्रॉम अ कंपैशनेट स्टेट, उसमें नंबर ऑफ
Hmm.
अटेम्प्ट्स नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स डोंट मैटर एट ऑल.
Right, right, Right,
क्योंकि
exactly.
वो नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स और अगर वो क्वेश्चन अभी भी आ रहा है तो इट इज
So,
स्टिल कमिंग फ्रॉम अ वेरी मैस्कुलिन स्टेट. The
uh,
feminine state of compassion won't count the number of times anymore.
okay, okay. Thank you
हाँ,
for correcting. Thank you for answering.
जब जैसे जैसे एक मदर होती है वो किसी को खाना खिलाती है ना तो वो रोटी नहीं गिनती है.
Yeah, she'll just do her part.
हाँ,
Yeah,
तो अभी
yeah,
भी अगर रोटियां गिन रहे हो तो फिर यू आर नॉट देयर येट.
yeah, I know. But is it possible that sometimes you are like able to take it, sometimes very small minor things triggers you.
हाँ,
How,
दैट्स ओके ना. तो
yeah,
ये चीज अवेयरनेस की ही बात है कि अभी भी हो रहा है तो इट्स मोर अबाउट बिकमिंग अवेयर कि हाँ दिस थिंग इज स्टिल रिमेनिंग. अभी भी इसमें मेरे को ट्रिगर हो रहा है और क्यों हो रहा है वो देखने की जरूरत है कि व्हाट वाज दैट टेंडेंसी कि मैंने अगर 5 बार बता दिया 10 बार बता दिया और अभी भी अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो वो क्या
mm,
टेंडेंसी है. व्हाट इज इट दैट इज kind of triggering inside you
right,
that you need to see.
okay, okay, thank you.
Huh.
I have a question here. So, when we talk about the
Just 1 minute, Tejas, before I go to you. Sarika Shukla, your hand was up before. तो आपका क्वेश्चन हो गया है या you don't want to?
Yes, so it was already covered in the conversation at the scene.
Okay, it's covered in the conversation. Okay, ठीक है. Okay, yes, Tejas, go ahead.
yeah. So my question is like, are there like different steps that we need to take for, let's say, moving from toxic feminine to divine feminine versus toxic masculine to the balance or natural masculine?
हाँ हाँ
And
हाँ.
another question is like, maybe it is easy to identify the toxic side of either of these energies, but how do we strike the balance between the masculine and feminine overall?
सो स्ट्राइक द बैलेंस का जो आंसर है वो ऐसा है कि व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट बैलेंस वी डोंट मीन 50-50. Strike the balance means whatever your natural composition is. Like as you said that everybody, whether man or woman, they both have masculine and feminine traits. आपको जो नेचुरल फील होता है. So your natural desire, अब you would also not know, we will also not know. Okay, ये तो observation वाली बात है. You have to observe your own behavior and everything. So what will tell you if it is natural to you or not natural to you is what will feel make you disturbed. So um, let's say for example, if we take men, majority speaking, most men operate mostly from masculine energy and then some flavor of feminine also. And then there are women who operate mostly from feminine energy and then some flavor of masculine. And then there is people who are in between these two uh, extremes. So there are a lot of men who have a higher feminine energy, and there are a lot of women who have higher masculine energy. तो जिन जो विमेन रहेंगी जो नेचुरली मैस्कुलिन रहेंगी टॉम बॉयज टाइप और एनीथिंग लाइक दैट they will feel totally okay with that energy. Whereas women who are forced to operate from masculine side because of their situation or anything, कि उनको जो हेल्प मिलनी चाहिए जो सपोर्ट मिलना चाहिए वो नहीं मिल रहा है तो अभी उनको सब कुछ खुद ही करना है. सारे डिसीजन खुद ही लेने सब काम खुद ही करना है. तो they are forced to work like that, behave like that. तो वो जो स्टेट है वो नेचुरल नहीं है उनके लिए पर उनको वो करना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि लाइफ ने उनको ऐसी सिचुएशन में डाल दिया है जहाँ पे काम तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना. तो वो तो रुकेगा नहीं. आपके सिचुएशंस आपके आगे आई हैं तो उनको आपको हैंडल तो करना ही पड़ेगा. पर वो हैंडल करके उनको अच्छा फील नहीं होता है. दे फील अनसेटल्ड. दे फील कि नहीं मैं नहीं हूँ ऐसी. या यू एज अ मैन यू विल प्रॉब्ली डू समथिंग. कर तो रहे हो लेकिन अंदर से ऐसा लग रहा है कि बट ये करके ना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. कर तो मैं रहा हूँ जरूरत पड़ रही है इसलिए कर रहा हूँ लेकिन ना तो मजा आ रहा है वो करके और ना ही मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है. खुद से अच्छा नहीं लगता है. तो जहां जहां पे भी ये चीजें आ रही हैं, this is what is showcasing you your toxic side, your wounded side that needs to be addressed. तो ये जैसे जैसे एड्रेस होती जाएंगी, तो जहां पे भी जो करना है वो करके you will just feel okay. जहाँ पे if you have to be assertive, you are assertive. Wherever you need to be more nurturing and caring, you are very nurturing and caring and all that. तो आपको ना ऐसे नहीं लगेगा कि ये men can't do this और women can't do that. जहाँ पे भी इस तरह की थॉट्स आ रही है ना कुछ भी करने से पहले, that is indicating a wounded side. तो ये सारे थॉट्स को निकालना है, इनको एक एक करके देखना है, ऑब्जर्व करके इनको एड्रेस करना है. तो दैट विल ऑटोमेटिकली टेक्स यू टूवर्ड्स बैलेंस. वो बैलेंस क्या होगा, किसका क्या है, कोई 80% मैस्कुलिन से है, 20% फेमिनिन से है, आपका 90% मैस्कुलिन होगा, 10% फेमिनिन होगा. वी डोंट नो कि वो नंबर क्या है. पर वो जो भी है ना, आपको दोनों एनर्जीज को इजीली काम करते हुए आपको कुछ फील नहीं होगा. आपको ये लगेगा कि हाँ ये नेचुरल है. आपको अगर अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करना है, अगर आपको किसी चीज पर गुस्सा आ रहा है, रोना आ रहा है, आप एक्सप्रेस कर पा रहे हो, यू फीलिंग वेरी लो एंड ऑल दैट, तो आपको ना अंदर से ऐसे लगेगा कि नहीं, बट मैन आर नॉट सपोज टू शो दिस काइंड ऑफ इमोशंस एंड ये मेरे को वीक फील करेंगे, ये ऐसे करेंगे. जहां पे भी ऐसी फीलिंग आ रही है ना कि करने का मन तो हो रहा है लेकिन अपने आप को रोक रहे हो वो करने से, दैट इज अ wounded side. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, in a way it does. So, as I
बैलेंस
understand,
में
like
आने का
balance,
मतलब
we
कि
have to find
दोनों
our own
एनर्जीज
balance.
आपकी फ्रेंड है. हाँ, बैलेंस में आने का मतलब कि यू हैव नो जजमेंट फॉर एनी ऑफ दीज एनर्जीज एनीमोर. तो अल्टीमेटली ये ना एक दो नहीं रहेंगी, एक ही बन जाएगी.
Hmm.
इसलिए इसमें कुछ ज्यादा वो भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि किस सिचुएशन में कौन सी एनर्जी से काम लेना चाहिए. वो आपको खुद ही पता चलेगा कौन सी सिचुएशन में किस एनर्जी से काम ले रहे हैं, आपको खुद ही पता चलेगा.
Should be effortless, probably.
It will be effortless. It will be effortless. It will not create any kind of guilt, any kind of resentment, any kind of anything like that. आपको करने के बाद बुरा फील नहीं होगा.
Right.
हाँ.
And second part of the question was around like what helps in balancing? Is it different things that will help if someone is experiencing more toxic feminine versus toxic masculine?
Yeah. The two things have very two different healing paths. Yeah. तो अलग अलग काम अलग अलग है दोनों चीजों में, क्योंकि फेमिनिन एनर्जी उसकी हीलिंग अलग है, मैस्कुलिन एनर्जी उसकी हीलिंग अलग है. मैस्कुलिन एनर्जी एज यू सेड कि इट इज मोर डूइंग इन नेचर, मोर गोइंग आउट एंड मोर एक्शन ओरिएंटेड काइंड ऑफ एन एनर्जी. तो मैस्कुलिन एनर्जी को हील करने के लिए यू नीड टू टेक, लेट्स से समवन इज, let's say you are a procrastinator and you know you need to do things and all that. तो procrastinator अगर हो तो फिर जाके करना और वो सब, you have to take action, you have to take decisions and all that. But if you are feeling like कि आपको कोई वल्नरेबल कॉन्वर्सेशंस करनी है, आपको किसी चीज से डर लग रहा है, कुछ फियर है, आपको वो एक्सप्रेस करने हैं बट आप एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पा रहे हो क्योंकि आपको लग रहा है कि शायद कोई आपका मजाक उड़ाएगा, आपको वीक समझेगा, ऐसे कैसे बात कर सकते हैं, ये बता नहीं सकते, ये आई कांट एक्सप्रेस दिस. दैट्स डिफरेंट बिकॉज दैट इज शोइंग certain level of energy blocks in you that needs to be addressed, जो आपको वो एक्सप्रेस करने नहीं दे रहे. करना चाह रहे हो लेकिन करने दे रहे. अगर करना चाह ही नहीं रहे हो तो अलग बात है, then that is your natural setting कि आपको फीलिंग ही नहीं आती है कि मैं इसको एक्सप्रेस करूं. तो ऐसे भी लोग होते नहीं करना उनको, एंड दैट इज ओके. वॉट एवर इट इज, वो जो भी आपका डिसीजन है, करना है या नहीं करना है, दोनों ही केसेस में आपको कोई डिस्टर्बेंस फील नहीं होनी चाहिए. अगर कुछ लोगों को होता है इनको नहीं करना, उनको नहीं करके अच्छा फील होता है, उनको अगर करना पड़े तो उनको डिस्टर्बेंस फील होगी, तो वो उनकी नेचुरल सेटिंग फिर हिल गई। तो वहां पे अगर जबरदस्ती उनको बोलो नहीं नहीं बताओ नहीं शेयर करो, तो उनको नहीं करना शेयर, उनको उनको शेयर किए बिना ही अच्छा लगता है। दे आर वेरी मच काम एंड सेटल्ड एंड एवरीथिंग। तो उनको अगर आप दूसरी तरफ पुश करने की कोशिश करोगे तो वहां पे वो गड़बड़ हो जाएगी, दे विल गेट डिस्टर्ब बाय दैट। तो कोई रीजन से अगर रुक रहे हो, कोई रीजन, कोई लर्न बिहेवियर है, बताया गया है कि ऐसे है, कोई रीजन से या लोगों की वजह से कि इसके आगे बोला तो इसको समझ नहीं आएगा, मेरा मजाक उड़ाएंगे, या फिर मेरी इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज करेंगे या कुछ ऐसे, या फिर आपको सिखाया गया है कि मेन शुड बी लाइक दिस, वुमेन शुड बी लाइक दिस। तो ये जो लर्न बिहेवियर है इनको ओवरकम करना है। नेचुरल जो भी आपको फील होता है ना, उसको नहीं ओवरकम करना है, वहां पहुंचना है। तो दोनों दोनों चीजों को हील करने के अलग अलग रास्ते रहेंगे। Anand, over to you. Just anything.
Thanks, Kshekhar. So, can we talk about those paths? Yeah, uska is not a part of this topic.
हाँ हाँ, वी विल टॉक एज यू गो, क्योंकि वो कोई एक चीज नहीं है, वो अलग अलग चीजें हैं। एंड सी मैनी, अगर मैं इसको जनरलाइज करके बोलूं तो जो हमने कई बार बताया है कि मेजॉरिटी तो सारी की सारी हीलिंग प्रोसेस को हम दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं कि देर आर देर वी आर कैरिंग माइंड ब्लॉक्स एंड वी आर कैरिंग एनर्जी ब्लॉक्स। तो ये दोनों चीजों को देखने की जरूरत है। तो आपको ये देखना है कि ना इन चीजों को ना इन चीजों को हील करने के लिए ना पहले ना ये चीज को ड्रॉप कर दो कि आई एम नॉट सपोज टू डू दिस, आई शुडंट बी डूइंग दिस और आई शुड बी डूइंग दिस। पहले तो मैं ये सारी चीजें ड्रॉप कर दो, ये सबके लिए है इस कॉल पे। तो पहला चीज तो ये ड्रॉप कर दो कि ये जिस किसने भी आपको सिखाया है, आपने सीखा है, कहाँ से आया, कहाँ, इट डजंट मैटर। अभी इसमें घुस सकते हैं हम कि ये कहाँ से आया है, किसने आपको सिखाया है, वो एक अलग चीज है। वो घुस के आपने अगर एनालिसिस कर भी ली तो उससे क्या मिल जाएगा आपको, आपको बस ये पता चल जाएगा कि हाँ यहाँ से आया, बाकी सॉल्व तो कुछ होगा नहीं। तो वो एनालिसिस करनी है तो करते रहना अपने टाइम में। लेकिन एक क्लू आई गिव यू ऑल दिस कि कुछ करने से पहले अगर आपको ये थॉट आता है आई शुडंट बी डूइंग दिस, आई एम नॉट सपोज टू डू दिस, आई एम नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड टू डू दिस, तो ये शुड वाला अगर ऐसा टर्मिनोलॉजी अगर दिमाग में आती है सो लर्न बिहेवियर, तो आपको रोक रहा है। पहले तो ये ड्रॉप कर दो और ये चीजें ड्रॉप कर दो कि ये men are not supposed to do this और women are not supposed to do this और women are supposed to do this and men are supposed to do this, ये सारे के सारी चीजें ड्रॉप करके अपने हेजिटेशंस और अपने ट्रिगर्स को देखो कि करने का मन हो रहा है और आपको ये सारी चीजें रोक रही हैं, तो फिर उसको एड्रेस करने की जरूरत है। तो वहां वो ड्रॉप करने के बाद जब वो आप आगे बढ़ोगे, एक स्टेप आगे लोगे और इसको हम मैन वुमेन के फिल्टर से नहीं देखोगे, इसको एक ह्यूमन बीइंग के फिल्टर से देखोगे कि यू आर अ ह्यूमन बीइंग एंड यू वांट टू डू दिस। पर आपको इन फिल्टर्स ने, ये सोसाइटी के रूल्स ने या किसी चीज ने आपको रोक रखा है, ये सही है, ये गलत है, ऐसा करना है, ऐसा नहीं करना है एंड ऑल दैट, ये आपने खुद ही सीखा है जैसे भी है। पहले तो वो छोड़ दो। तो इसका मतलब अब ये छोड़ने के बाद नेक्स्ट आए कि ये मेरा करने का मन तो हो रहा है लेकिन मैं कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ। तो नाउ यू सी कि आर दीज माइंड ब्लॉक्स और आर दीज एनर्जी ब्लॉक्स। तो एक एक करके इन चीजों को देखने की जरूरत है कि सम थिंग्स यू कैन कॉन्टेम्पलेट, सम थिंग्स यू यू कैन सी कि ये कहाँ से आ रहा है, क्यों आ रहा है, what are the belief systems you are carrying, are those belief systems serving you, supporting you, nurturing you, making you a better person, empowering you or not? If they are not, तो उनको छोड़ने में आपको तकलीफ क्या हो रही है? तो अगर सब कुछ जानने के बाद, सारा कुछ पता होने के बाद कि ये करना चाहिए, ऐसे करना चाहिए, फिर भी नहीं कर पा रहे, सारा रास्ता क्लियर, पता है कि करना क्या है, कैसे करना है ये भी पता है, और फिर भी नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो देन दैट इंडिकेट्स एनर्जी ब्लॉक्स। तो एनर्जी सिस्टम करप्टेड है, वो आपको करने नहीं दे रहा है, वो आपको उठ के कुछ भी करने की कैपेसिटी नहीं दे रहा है, तो देन एनर्जी हीलिंग नीड्स टू बी डन फॉर दैट। सो यू नीड टू सी दीज थिंग्स कि कहाँ पे क्या करना है। कॉन्टेम्पलेशन के लिए आपको जो भी सोर्स चाहिए, तो लाइक वी सेड यू कैन डू योर ओन search on Google, read about these things, create your own healing journey, take help from someone, or do the e-learning journeys. Up to you, whatever you want to do. So these options are there. तो कोई प्रोसेस या तो खुद क्रिएट करो, या किसी का प्रोसेस क्रिएटेड है तो उसको फॉलो करो, दोनों में से एक काम तो करना ही पड़ेगा। तो दैट इज अप टू यू व्हाट यू वांट टू डू। आपने अगर आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है कि हाँ मेरी टेंडेंसी है कि आई एम अ पीपल प्लीजिंग पर्सन, या आई गेट वेरी इंटिमिडेटेड, जब भी कोई मेरे सामने चिल्लाता है तो आई गेट वेरी इंटिमिडेटेड, या मैं बहुत चिल्लाता हूँ, आई लूज कंट्रोल, और बिना चिल्लाए बिना इंटिमिडेट किए काम नहीं होता है, लोग करते नहीं है काम, मेरे को चिल्लाना पड़ता है, मेरे को ये करना पड़ता है, लेकिन वो करके ना मुझे खुद अच्छा नहीं लगता। तो ऑल दीज थिंग्स दैट यू आर सीइंग कि हाँ ये ऐसा हो रहा है, तो चेक अवर लाइब्रेरी एंड सी कि कौन सी ई लर्निंग जर्नी आपको उसमें हेल्प करेगी। हर ई लर्निंग जर्नी का जो सेक्शन है, इफ यू गो टू द पेज, ईच ई लर्निंग जर्नी पेज विल टेल यू कि किसको करनी चाहिए। उसमें हिंट्स हैं कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स यू मे बी फेसिंग, एंड इन दैट केस दिस ई लर्निंग जर्नी विल हेल्प यू। तो पेज को पढ़ो, उसके ऊपर ऑलरेडी लिखा हुआ है हमने सब कुछ कि if you are facing such kind of problems, then if you are facing such kind of problems, then this e-learning journey will help you. So check that out and start that e-learning journey. ये तो
Okay.
खुद से हो सकता है, पर अगर एनर्जी ब्लॉक्स आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हो कि सब कुछ पता है, सारा कुछ क्लियर होने के बाद भी कर नहीं पा रहे हो, तो एनर्जी ब्लॉक हीलिंग के लिए यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई सम एनर्जी हीलर एंड वर्क विद देम। वो डीआईवाई नहीं होता है। वो
Okay.
वो ऐसी चीज है जो आप यूट्यूब पे वीडियोस देख के या बुक्स पढ़ के या गूगल पे सर्च मार के, इट्स नॉट इंफॉर्मेशनल इन नेचर, इट इज वेरी डिफरेंट थिंग। तो वो एनर्जी वर्क एक एनर्जी हीलर ही कर सकता है। तो देन चेक आपके check with your friends, check in your network if you know anyone who can do this work for you, रेफरेंस से जाओ, चेक करो प्रॉपरली, क्योंकि वंस अगेन इतनी सारी कॉल्स, हम ऑलमोस्ट 70-80 कॉल्स आर नाउ अपलोडेड ऑन आवर चैनल, और ऑलमोस्ट उसमें 50% कॉल्स में यही होता है, लोग बोलते हैं कि आई वेंट बट मेरे को रिजल्ट नहीं आए, आई डिडंट गेट दिस, एंड आई से हाँ पता है हमको ऐसे लोग होते हैं, देयर आर बैड प्रैक्टिशनर्स। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि ये साइंस गलत है।
Right.
आपको हर फील्ड में गलत लोग मिलेंगे आपको, ऐसा नहीं कि कोई डॉक्टर है तो सारे डॉक्टर्स अच्छे होते, ऐसा नहीं
Correct.
लॉयर है तो सारे लॉयर्स ही अच्छे होते। तो हर फील्ड में आपको गलत लोग मिलते हैं, इस फील्ड में भी आपको मिलेंगे जिन लोगों को नहीं पता ढंग से कैसे करना है। तो हम जब जाते हैं, हम कोई सीए को भी अगर अपॉइंट करते हैं अपना काम करने के लिए, वो भी हम 10 लोगों को पूछ के जाते हैं। कोई डॉक्टर से भी हम अपॉइंटमेंट लेंगे तो अपने नेटवर्क में कुछ रेफरेंस से जाएंगे कि कौन सा अच्छा डॉक्टर है, रिफर करो एंड ऑल दैट। So check, go with referral and check with someone, do some research and check the person before engaging with them. ऐसा नहीं बस गूगल सर्च मारी, जो पहला रिजल्ट आया उसको उठा के उसको कांटेक्ट किया और उससे काम करना शुरू किया, और फिर पता चला कि नहीं रिजल्ट आया। तो थोड़ा थोड़ा रिसर्च करो। बेस्ट है कि पूछो आसपास किसी से, अपने फ्रेंड से, किसी ने कभी किया है ऐसा, थोड़ा थोड़ा सर्च मारो, थोड़ा करो, देखो। अगर हमसे करना है तो अनामिका इज एनर्जी हीलर, अप्रोच हर एंड शी विल डू दैट। अब हम ये शक्ति एलिमेंट रिट्रीट करते हैं, दैट इज फॉर विमेन, उसमें एनर्जी हीलिंग वर्क होता है, बट दैट इज ओनली फॉर विमेन राइट नाउ, सो वी आर नॉट डूइंग इट फॉर मेन। तो ऐसी कोई रिट्रीट नहीं है अभी हमारे पास मेन के लिए। तो अगर ऑल द मेन ऑन द कॉल, इफ यू नीड टू डू समथिंग, अगर हमारे साथ कुछ करना है तो फिर वन ऑन वन ही होगा अभी के लिए। तो हमारे पास कुछ ऐसा ग्रुप के लिए, रिट्रीट के लिए अभी हमारे पास कुछ फैसिलिटी नहीं है। तो that is the way. Otherwise, you can check. There are plenty of people who are doing this work. So just check who's good in doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
One more thing I wanted to add, to your query. So this is not just for Tejas, this is for everyone here. And you are on a journey, you're working on these energies. So one thing we need to understand is that when we move from our natural feminine state to the wounded feminine state, we have suppressed the natural feminine, natural masculine, right? When we have moved from natural masculine to wounded masculine state, we have suppressed the natural feminine. Right. So when you observe, when you come to the point of awareness that which wounded feminine state I am in, so this requires a lot of discernment, a lot of clarity, a lot of digging deep, going into where exactly these wounds are, where do they come from, what kind of wound it is, how it was created, and how is the expression of the wound. So we are using these terminologies of divine feminine, divine masculine energy. This is one way of understanding it, but this thing is anyway applicable. So maybe there's somebody on earth who has never even heard these words, but is still in a very natural state, living in a very normal state, and have seen so many people like that who are already in that state. So it's not about terminologies at all. We use this terminology, or we use attachment styles, or we use X or Y or Z, doesn't matter. Work is this only, right? So it's bringing awareness, it's going deeper, and this can help because if we just attune ourselves, to our body, our emotions, our thoughts, and everything, and in that awareness we can see that where exactly we can like literally feel it in the body. So if I share my experience, when I was doing one of the sessions, I was doing the session with one of my mentors long back, and she was doing the session on feminine energy, and I was one of the facilitators there. I was also doing the session, and I was talking to all the women over there, and I literally started crying at the end of the session. And the part which was crying, which was actually the masculine part of me, because I have throughout my life been very masculine dominant, right? And I had always suppressed my feminine energy. So the kind of the masculine part of me had created so many wounds for the feminine part. And at that point of time, when both I was just sitting there, it was like a trance meditation. It was like a totally blank. I was totally blank, and I could see both of these, not see as in visually see, but feel in my body both of these parts of me. And the masculine in me started crying. And it started crying because it realized that how much it rejected the feminine, how much it judged the feminine in a way that you're weak, you're not good enough, you're not deserving, you're this and that, and I have to wear the shoes and I have to go out in the world and fight everyone and get things done. तो ये हम सब कर सकते हैं, ये हम सबके साथ हो सकता है, right? And whenever these kind of जब भी डूअर इफ मतलब जैसे कि हम जब भी ये कॉन्वर्जेशंस करते हैं तो बहुत बार इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, लाइक जैसे कि तेजस ने पूछा, ऐसे हर कोई पूछता है, हम भी पूछते हैं, बिकॉज वी आर इन द इम्प्रिंट ऑफ यूजिंग लॉजिक सो मच. तो हमें हर चीज का आंसर लॉजिक से चाहिए, बिकॉज हम सब ने वही सीखा है रिगार्डलेस ऑफ जेंडर्स. तो women also search answer from logic, but naturally we are created in a way कि फिर भी उनका acceptance level is okay and they come up. If you see in this call, only I guess most of us are women here. I guess Akarma and Tejas are the only men. So उनका फिर भी acceptance level high होता है, listening level high होता है, they do the work. But with men, it's even on the extreme side. So that is something that we need to really learn कि जब हम wounded masculine में हैं, that means हमने natural feminine को suppress किया हुआ है. जब हम wounded feminine में हैं तो हमने natural masculine को suppress किया हुआ है. And getting very good with identifying and understanding and looking into these, wounds. What are the wounds? कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? कैसे हैं? क्या है? क्या उसमें क्या हो रहा है? And how they are created? What kind of wounds they are? So hi Charan, I'm so sorry. You're also there. So there are 3 men on the call. I didn't see you. So yes, anyway, this thing. And then another thing I would say is जो जब भी हम, because men and women दोनों ही masculine side में, wounded masculine side में थोड़े ज्यादा हैं. मैं इसमें भी हैं wounded feminine में, a lot of men and women feel victimized, manipulated, दोनों side में हैं. तो जब ये वाली energy show करती है, because that is our primary response mechanism which we have created through our learnings and conditionings. इसमें problem ये होती है कि जो masculine counterpart है हमारा, वो हमको ये काम करने से रोकता है. Because feminine से connect करने के लिए you need a certain level of receptivity, acceptance. You need a certain level of surrender. You need a certain level of trust. You need a certain level of love and connection. But the masculine says कि पहले prove करके बताओ. पहले prove करो कैसे होगा. पहले समझाओ कैसे होगा. पहले पूरा answer दो कैसे होगा. पहले ये conditions meet होंगी, then only देखते हैं आगे का क्या हो सकता है, कैसे हो सकता है. Because we have suppressed the feminine side a lot. तो इसके लिए इस चीज को awareness में लाना जरूरी है when जब भी healing journey में आगे जाने का time होता है ना, so the masculine gets active and it starts putting too many questions. अब इसी का feminine counterpart जो होता है, so that feminine counterpart feels very victimized, feels that everything bad has happened to her, nobody loves her, nobody cares for her, nobody, मतलब she is nothing. तो masculine को जैसे feel होता है that I am everything, वैसे wounded masculine को, वैसे feminine को feel होता है I am nothing. Because she feels I am nothing, तो उसको ऐसा लगता है कि फिर मुझे ये काम ही क्यों करना है, रहने देते हैं, छोड़ देते हैं. So in this way, the feminine stops you to take the journey forward. So both wounded masculine and feminine will play out these games when it comes to going forward on the healing journey and doing something about it. And when we say doing something about it, that does not mean that अभी हम आपको 10 exercise बताएंगे, you have to get up from your chair and now start walking. Not that. I'm talking about the state of becoming open, the state of becoming ready, willingness, the state of intention to, ki now this is enough has happened, same patterns have repeated in my life, I don't want the rest of my life to be like this. I'm talking about that readiness. तो जैसे ही वो readiness chime in होगी, ये दोनों के दोनों parts खड़े हो जाएंगे और अपना अपना गाना गाना चालू कर देंगे. So ये करते हैं. In fact, it happens with me also, today also, कि कोई भी, whenever I'm leveling up, I'm trying something new, right? And I'm doing something which I've never tried before. It's extremely big and new and different. हो गया फिर. बहुत सारी चीजें in the mind, the logic is saying, but ये तो होगा नहीं, ये तो ऐसा है. The wounded feminine would sometimes say, but अगर fail हो गए तो, but अगर ये हो गया तो. So once it's not about कि हम in wounded parts को suppress कर दें. Even if we have healed ourselves, even if we are on the healing journey, we are working on ourselves. This is not a linear thing of switch. कोई बटन है जो switch on switch off कर दिया कि आज मैं, कल मैं wounded था और आज मैं I'm completely healed. There are no such buttons, but the difference which you can observe कि वो जो छोटे काउंटर पार्ट्स हमारे अंदर बैठे हैं, वो शायद तब भी रहेंगे, बट अभी हम या तो उनसे कैरिड अवे हो जाते हैं या तो उनको जज करते हैं. When we are truly on the healing journey, we acknowledge them. We don't get carried away by them. We just look at them and we don't even judge them. बोल रहे हैं तो बोल रहे हैं, उनका भी अपना एक काम है. So that's what it looks like. So when you're healed, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि you will never experience raw, dense emotions. You will never have negative thoughts, and you will not have discomfort in your body. Doesn't mean anything like that. सबको होता है, no matter how far they have gone on their journey. But the same thing they use as a guidance system. चाहे वो instinctual guidance हो, चाहे वो intuitive guidance हो, चाहे वो logical guidance हो. So that is the difference, that comes up. तो ये counterparts आएंगे, react भी करेंगे, but I'm just sharing this with you so that you are aware कि you do not become like, you don't get carried away by these. So that's one thing from my side. Anybody has anything to share?
Just to tell you, जो तुमने अभी एग्जाम्पल दिया ना, like Seema was talking before कि she was observing this. So she's doing her healing journeys and she's been working on herself. But ऐसा नहीं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम रोबोट्स बन गए हैं, हमें कुछ इमोशंस नहीं आएंगे या दिखेगा नहीं. बट अब वो क्लियरली दिखने लगता है, अब वो ऑब्जर्व होने लगता है, तो अब वो पकड़ में आ जाता है. जो चीजें पहले ना पकड़ में नहीं आती थी, स्लिप हो जाती थी और हम उसमें घुस जाते थे. हमें पता भी नहीं चलता था कि कब हम घुस गए, कब हम रिएक्शन मोड में चले गए, कहाँ पे हम ऐसे बैटल्स में घुस गए जो जरूरत भी नहीं थी. तो ये जर्नीज करने से या ये हीलिंग प्रोसेस करने से वो चीज क्लियर होने लगती है. तो हमें क्लियर होने लगता है कि हाँ, किन में पढ़ना है, किस में नहीं पढ़ना है, और रिकवरी बहुत फास्ट हो जाती है. तो आप किसी चीज में घुसोगे तो उसमें से निकल जाओगे जल्दी से, अटक नहीं जाओगे. तो ये डिफरेंस आएगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि कहीं अब आपकी लाइफ में कोई हिकअप ही नहीं आएगा, अभी कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं आएगी. नहीं, अगर ये इंटेंशन से करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो तो फिर यू आर गोइंग अगेंस्ट द डिजाइन ऑफ लाइफ. तो वो तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं कि वो ना हो. हम ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता है कि हम कोई ऐसी दवाई खा लें कि जिंदगी भर हम कभी बीमारी नहीं. ऐसा तो कुछ बना ही नहीं है. ऐसा तो ऑल वी कैन डू इज कीप आवर इम्यून सिस्टम हेल्थ, कीप आवर सेल्फ स्ट्रॉन्ग, सो वी डोंट फॉल सिक वेरी क्विकली. और अगर हो भी गए तो जल्दी रिकवर हो जाए, यही कर सकते. तो ये हीलिंग जर्नी का भी यही पर्पस है कि become strong from inside so you don't fall trapped into these things very easily. और अगर हो भी गया तो recover very quickly from it. Yes, Neha.
Yeah, thank you for answering all my queries all the time. And just wanted to share that yes, definitely, healing se the difference. Many people ask me personally also, what is it that you say that it's different? Are you not feeling? So I all the time tell them that I may not be like, जैसे मेरे को पहले trigger होता था for days, months. I used to be like, it was the thought loops, or it was like you are in a dark place where you are like, what to do, overthinking and what not happening, but no solution. But now doing the healing, it definitely had made me better because observant हो गए हो, acceptance आ गया है, and the right word that you use is recovery fast हो जाती है. So I maybe, because definitely I'm a human being, it's not that I will stop having my emotions. I'll definitely evolving in my life, but that doesn't mean that I will not experience anything. I'll experience love, hate, jealous, all kind of things. But then now I know, moment I go to a overthinking board. So I have realized one more thing, that when we are like in a particular pattern or a habit for a certain period of time, even when you start healing, that wounded self will definitely come up like a strong voice in your head, and you will be like, what? where is it coming from now? So yeah, Anamika, thank you for sharing the examples, because I was smiling when you were narrating it all. कि हाँ, मेरे साथ ऐसा बहुत होता है कि मेरा जो wounded self था वो मुझे जरूर डाउट में डालता है एक बारी. So वो बहुत शोर मचाता है and I'll be like, okay, but you know what, it does not matter. So I tell myself it does not matter. What matters is that now I know. पहले नहीं पता था, अब पता है. सो इट्स ओके इफ द पर्सन इज लाइक दैट. ओके, हमने उनको फॉरगिव भी कर दिया, बट वी आर नॉट गोइंग बैक टू द सेम पर्सन अगेन. सॉरी, बिकॉज दिस इज ट्रू कि कुछ चीजें ना, आई थिंक वी कीप circling in it for no reason, because maybe we are so disconnected with our own self, and healing brings you to yourself. You know, the answers that we keep seeking outside, it's all inside. And very true that I have no shame. I've been to most of the spiritual healers and all. I don't know, but I couldn't connect with anybody. And my actual healing started when I joined this forum and all. And before that, I was a more of a spiritual shopper, picked up something, liking it, something not liking, just walking away, because my wounded masculine will not like it, would like to control it. So for a very long time, it was not letting me heal also. So now when you talk, I can relate that what you are saying, because I know I've been to that place where it does not allow you, because healing is a lot of work, in the sense, because you have to be very consistent and dedicated. It will no doubt will get you a lot of hurdles, but end of the day it becomes very peaceful also, and it's a beautiful place to be. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
I thank you
Thanks.
again.
Thanks. Uh, um, when you were talking, another example that came to my mind, I want to share that as well. I have shared this example a few times. So one of the gurus I follow, consider him my guru, is Muji. Some people may know him, I may not know him. So he comes to Rishikesh for his satsang. He lives in Portugal. So in 2019, I met him first time, and he comes here for a month and he does his discourse and all that. So when I joined, he was already here for 3 weeks, and more people were coming towards the end. And I remember very clearly one day he does these open forums where people can come and ask questions and all that. And people were asking him questions that he has been answering for 3 weeks. And and he really got very upset with that. And he said, "Ki, matlab he's 70 plus, and he's and he got we can see the tiredness on his face and everything. And he was getting very stressed and all that about it कि इतने दिन से तो मैं कर रहा हूँ, लाइक अभी भी ये क्वेश्चन तुम्हारे अभी भी वही क्वेश्चन लेके आ रहे हो, कुछ नया लेके आओ." तो he got really upset with that and he stopped the satsang there. He just got up and left. So um, ये कहने का मतलब है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि ही इज एन अद्वैत मास्टर एंड ऑल दैट, कि वो कोई ऐसे सुपर ह्यूमन बन गए हैं कि उनको कोई इमोशन नहीं आते हैं, उनको कोई चीजों से प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है एंड ऑल दैट. तो ही हैड आल्सो प्रॉब्लम विद दिस एंड ही वाज वेरी क्लियर अबाउट इट. उनको कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि पता नहीं लोग मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेंगे, वहाँ 3,000 लोग बैठे हैं, अगर मैं ऐसे रिएक्ट करूंगा तो क्या सोचेंगे मेरे बारे में, कुछ नहीं. ही जस्ट वट एवर ही फेल्ट ही एक्सप्रेस कि मेरे को इससे बहुत अनकंफर्टेबल हो रहा है कि ये सब क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो, 3 वीक से मैं आंसर कर रहा हूँ इन क्वेश्चंस को, अभी भी वही क्वेश्चंस लाए जा रहे हो. तो ही गॉट अप एंड ही लेफ्ट. और फिर 2 या 3 घंटे बाद दूसरा उनका सेशन था एंड ही केम, और उसमें देयर वाज अ म्यूजिक एंड ऑल दैट एंड ही वाज सिंगिंग एंड ही वाज डूइंग एवरीथिंग. सो दैट्स व्हाट वी टॉक अबाउट इज अ रिकवरी. इट्स नॉट कि चीजें हर्ट नहीं करेंगी या चीजें पिंच नहीं करेंगी, बट वो लेके नहीं बैठे थे. 2 घंटे के बाद, 3 घंटे के बाद उनका नेक्स्ट सेशन था. ही केम विद द सेम एनर्जी एंड ही इज पार्टिसिपेटिंग एंड ही इज ऑल लाफिंग एंड सिंगिंग एंड एवरीथिंग. सो रिकवरी बिकम्स वेरी क्विक. ऐसा नहीं है कि चीजें हर्ट नहीं होंगी, चीजें हर्ट होंगी, लोग तो आपको कुछ ना कुछ करेंगे ही, ट्रिगर एंड ऑल दैट, तो वो होगा, बट रिकवरी क्विक हो जाती है. दैट्स द थिंग. वी डोंट keep going in the loop and all that. We just don't mull in it for days and weeks and months and years कि ऐसा हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. तो वो कम हो जाता है. So that is the indication कि you are healing and you are becoming a more stronger person. Yeah, Anamika, over.
Yeah. So it's really important that we become aware, we become at least observant of, whenever these parts of us show up, and they how they are, stopping us to go on this journey. And one beautiful thing is कि ये सारे जो हमारे सेल्फ टॉक्स होते हैं, सो मेनी थॉट्स कमिंग अप, कभी कभी बॉडी में ऐसे अजीब अजीब से सेंसेशंस आएंगे, इतना डिस्कम्फर्ट होगा, पता नहीं पसीना आ रहा है, समझ नहीं आ रहा है पसीना पसीना क्यों आ रहा है, इमोशंस होंगे, इमोशनली ओवरवेल्म फील होगा, और ये सारी चीजें होती हैं, राइट? And the thing is that when we become observant of all of these things, and if we are able to discern कि अच्छा ये अभी ना मेरा शैडो मैस्कुलिन बात कर रहा है, ये अभी मेरी शैडो फेमिनिन बात कर रही है, तो इसमें सबसे बड़ी ब्यूटी ये होती है दैट दैट इज एन इंडिकेशन, वो जितनी भी चीजें निकल कर आ रही हैं उसका इंडिकेशन ये है कि हमें काम किस जगह पे करना है. So all of these things which come up actually are an opportunity for us to get clarity कि अच्छा अभी यहाँ पे काम बाकी है, या फिर यहाँ पे कुछ देखना है, या फिर नहीं भी देखना है. So they can be both the things, कि देखना है नहीं देखना है. And that is and for that it's really ये जब हम इस observer space में है, it's really important that we keep that space a non-judgmental, unbiased space. क्योंकि अगर वो bias हो जाएगा ना, then it's like your mind playing with your mind कि हाँ मेरी तो healing हो गई, मेरा तो काम हो गया, या मुझे तो कुछ करना नहीं है. So you have to be really honest. और इसमें that is why when we say कि इसमें जो feminine quality होती है, of the feminine quality of intuition, the feminine quality of emotions, because she is the one who can actually discern all of these things. तो वो फिर वहां से हमें क्लैरिटी आती कि नहीं यहाँ पे और काम बाकी है, या फिर ये भी क्लैरिटी आ सकती है कि ये सब चीजें आ रही हैं, बट दीज थिंग्स आर जस्ट जो बचा खुचा आइटम है पीछे से, मे बी कर्मास हैं, मे बी हमारे ओल्ड पैटर्न्स हैं, वो पूरे गए नहीं हैं, बिकॉज इन दैट वे यू हैव बीन फॉर लाइक 20, 30, 40 years ऑफ योर लाइफ. तो ये एक्सपेक्ट करना कि काम करते ही दे गेट डिसॉल्व्ड, that's very unrealistic expectation to have, right? So that way all of these things, all of the discomfort is also an opportunity for us to see. But jab bhi shadow masculine you see that it's becoming extremely active, then a hack for you to see ki us point of time pe which feminine quality are you suppressing or missing. Is it compassion? Is it empathy? Is it love? Is it compassion? Is it beauty? Is it sexuality? What are those qualities? जब wounded feminine हो जाती है, तो a hack for you is to see कि कौन से masculine को कौन से natural masculine को हमने suppress कर रखा है. Are we not able to be assertive? Are we not able to speak our truth? Are we not able to go forward? Are we not able to take actions? Are we procrastinating? So इस तरीके से this works the opposite way around. So this is a small hack for all of you. So yeah, that's all I have.
एक और चीज वंशिस से कि इवन अगर ये टेंडेंसी आ रही है कि मैंने तो इतना काम कर लिया है एंड ऑल दैट, अगेन दैट इज आल्सो अ मैस्कुलिन टेंडेंसी टू से कि एक कुछ काम था उसको टिक बॉक्स किया और वो एक अचीवमेंट हो गई. तो इसको अचीवमेंट की तरह देखना भी एक मैस्कुलिन ट्रेट ही है. तो ये एक फेमिनिन ट्रेट is something that you see this as a lifelong process. कि ये कभी खत्म होने वाली चीज नहीं है. और खत्म क्यों करना है? You want to keep becoming a better person and all that. तो अगर आपने अपने ऊपर कुछ काम किया है और उसमें आपको अगर कुछ डिफरेंसेस दिख रहे हैं हो रहा है, तो इसको टिक बॉक्स एक्टिविटी क्यों बनाएंगे? तो वो भी एक मैस्कुलिन टेंडेंसी ही है टू सी इट दैट वे कि ये काम कंप्लीट किया मैंने, एक और अचीवमेंट हो गई मेरी. Anybody else wants to say anything on the call? So, Suneet, you joined first time. Anything you want to say? Charan, Kali, Neelu, Neetu, Sarika, Swati, anything anyone wants to say? Yes, Suneet, go ahead. You have to unmute and talk.
Uh, well, this is my first session in this, and I joined late because I was having my Gita class before. I'm completely new to this part, but I have a lot to share and say. So, if I can have an
Sure.
article on this, I'll go through it and maybe I'll express myself next time. Is it possible to send me something on this topic? Because I am totally, because I'm not able to understand how to start and how to discuss.
You could just say whatever you want to say, anything you want to say. So you have listened enough so far. So whatever it is coming, just say, just express yourself.
Well, no, means actually, I heard a lot of things, but I don't know what was the beginning and how people went through discussing these things. Like I'm not able to understand the topic yet, so I want to just study first. Like, what is this about? What are the ingredients and components of this masculinity and femininity, and like what parts are to be means what part of myself I need to understand that part first, so that I can just express myself. Maybe next session I'll do it. So I just want to have a write up on this part, so that in next session when I join, I will have a proper idea what to discuss and what to say.
Uh, to be honest, there won't be any kind of write up or anything that we have. These calls are recorded. All the calls are recorded and uploaded on our YouTube channel. So there is plenty of content there. 75 conversations are there. And we have talked about these kind of topics before. Every time we talk different things. So this was a two-part conversation. One, we talked about feminine energy, and today we are talking about masculine energy. So that's all what we are talking. Um, there is not going to be any write-up or anything from our side on this as such. It's just going to be this conversation only. And this conversation is more about understanding masculine energy and feminine energy. And whatever you understand about that, you can share. If this is a new topic for you, then that's okay. If you don't have any input on this, if you have not heard about masculine feminine energy before and what they play and all that, then that's it. Okay.
Yeah, this is a completely new topic for me to discuss. That's what I'm asking for.
Huh, huh, huh. That's okay.
Because the
That's
thing is that a lot of things were discussed about the blockage and healings. Well, I have been through a lot in my life, so like I wanted to understand um,
So you can talk
about the
about
healing.
that. You can talk about what you have been through and what kind of healing you have done. You can share that.
Well, I haven't been able to do any kind of healing myself because I haven't understood how to do it. And sufferings are as usual, as everyone would have passed through the same story, nothing new. Everybody in this group who shared their feelings and whatever they talked about, it's the same thing, nothing more. But that healing part is, I have never been able to reach that point of healing. I just played ignorant to those. It's been years, like I have suppressed it and I have not tried myself to heal it. But yeah, through this forum, when I go through all the channels, or sorry, all the recordings which are available on
Hmm. Lost you, Sudeep. Not able to hear you. Can anybody else hear you?
No, I cannot
No.
hear him either.
So something
Sunit,
happened.
we lost you. We cannot hear you.
Okay, let's come back to him. Swati, your hand is up. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Sachin, after a long time. So
Hi.
I heard about, and I'm sorry, hi Anamika as well. So I heard about the masculine and feminine energy part in last call actually, and that I joined late. What I think will be the beginning is being aware of it, and that had started for me. So I liked it, and I'm thinking about it, what it is exactly. I wanted to join that Shakti part, but today morning it was at 10 o'clock and I could not, I was busy at that time. So, and also I wanted to know that if we can do it when we are pregnant, that also was a part I wanted to check with Anamika. Further, I would like to know from Anamika when I'll connect with her personally after this call or something. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So when we talk about the Shakti Element retreat, we this particular retreat we do not recommend for women when they are pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the exercises, some of the exercises which are there are very intensive. So and there's a lot of catharsis which we go through, because when you're in this state, you are going through already a lot of hormonal and emotional changes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's why it's not recommended.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh, Tejas, if you want, you can unmute and talk. You wrote something.
Yeah, I mean, primarily this thing that Anamika mentioned, that toxic feminine means we are suppressing some of the masculine qualities, and vice versa, is, I think, very clarifying thing which can help identify this kind of behavior, and then we can also kind of try to revert it or allow ourselves to uh, act from the point of balance, or how we want, basically, rather than going with one of these toxic sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I share some of my journey, then I think I few at least I started this a few years ago. This journey. Before that, I had a lot of toxic feminine traits, and that's how it was going. And the moment I started the journey, gradually identifying it, and it took a lot of time, definitely years, not even months. But I can clearly see what I was missing was the good masculine side. And whenever the moment I started working on it and actually getting the uh, masculine side active, the toxic feminine side automatically somewhat suppressed or went away. It still triggers sometimes, but now it's a lot better than where I was. So I think that clarifies a lot of questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tejas.
Sumit, you are back. Yes,
Yeah.
we couldn't hear
Sunit.
you, so go ahead, Sumit.
Sorry, I got disconnected because of my phone. So I lost, means I lost the conversation. So just can you just summarize it in a few words?
You were talking about. You said that you've gone through some mm, things. You were talking about yourself, that your journey and all that. So that's when we lost you. So just continue from there.
Uh, it's the same story, but like you said that I'm not aware of this feminine energy and masculine energy being present in one human being all together, and how does this blocks. Because yes, I am having a lot of blocks which I can see in my life. Like, I'm not able to connect with people. I'm very very reserved person, and I have only few friends. I don't like to get connected, or I don't know, it's in initially it was not like that, but after passing through those incidents, I'm very very reserved. I try to like network. I try to get connected with people, but I don't know, something stops me from doing it, from getting connected to people. I'm not able to expand my network, so I'm it is causing a lot of troubles for me. So I guess through this forum I will be able to unblock myself again.
No, this what you are talking about is toxic feminine trait, because see, the last conversation, because you joined today our group only. Last week we talked about feminine energy. That recording is available. Listen to that one. Um, this side of things is something that you need to understand what feminine energy is and what masculine energy is. So feminine energy, in a nutshell, is is a magnetic energy. It attracts, whereas masculine energy is the one that chases. So masculine energy will create goals. I want to have network. I want to have friends and all that. So it will go out and create action plan and strategies to do that. Whereas feminine energy is more of an attractor, where people get attracted to you rather than you chasing them. And and because you are not fully in touch with the feminine side of you, this is where things become a bit complicated. Because hearing the way you talk and what you have said so far, um, again, I might be wrong because we only met first time. But I'm just going to use my life experience to say what I'm going to say. Um, been doing coaching work for 20 plus years, and I do personality profiling and all that as well. So, using that experience, I would say that you are probably the kind of person who feels कि when you have to talk to someone, you need to know the topic. You need to you probably feel कि बात क्या करेंगे किसी से मिलके. So you probably feel कि I don't even know कि मैं क्या बात करूँगा. So you need some setup in order to get cracking and with friends and all that. So you approach things from that angle. Whereas feminine energy is just a flowing energy. It doesn't need topics. It just connects. Topics will come out in the conversation. The masculine energy is more of उसको डायरेक्शन चाहिए उसको क्या बोलते हैं masculine energy need targets. So unless you have targets, unless you are clear, so ये conversation में देख लो कि you have been in this conversation for almost an hour or something. You missed some part of it before. That's okay, and yet you feel कि you're not able to contribute in this conversation because you don't have the um, you know what you call it grasp of the subject. So until you keep approaching life from a subject matter point of view, the problem बनी. Is this making any sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. It is in reference to this conversation, but approaching life with a subject, I think, like if you pass through very, very means every time if you approach something and you get beaten, then at some point of time or at some point uh, you accept that oh fine, it's done now. Like a lot of people said in that. I
But
don't know whether I took it right or wrong.
Tell me, Sumit, how do you get beaten in a conversation?
No, it's
You
not
only
about the
get beaten in a
conversation I'm
converse.
talking. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Okay.
It's not about the conversation I'm talking about. It's about the subject matter you mentioned that if you approach life with a subject matter. So subject matter means like getting connected to people, right? So if you're
No,
trying to
as a
connect
subject
people,
matter expert, I meant. I meant ki if you will probably be looking at ki if you are, let's say, you going to a party, you're going to a gathering. In that gathering, are you able to initiate conversations easily with people, or you are the kind of person who is mostly sitting and observing, and basically you're mostly a listener, or are
I
you a
you
participator?
yeah, I used to be a person, first kind of person before, but now I'm a second kind of person. I just want to observe people, see things, what they're doing,
Uh,
and just be quiet. That's it, because it comforts me a lot. Because
exactly,
if I enter into a conversation with anyone, it doesn't end well, and it
exactly,
makes me feel bad.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It
I would
doesn't end
like to
well.
actually use the word. So basically, you're seeking perfection in everything. So you have to get it like right. Hmm? So that's what I sense. I mean, we are talking to you for the first time, but it's more
Your
about.
your your energy is, would see, your desire to connect with people, have more friends, and all that is a feminine desire. Is that's your feminine side, who wants more people, more friends, and all that. Because masculine energy को नहीं फर्क पड़ता. Masculine energy is someone who is purely operating from masculine energy can just be by themselves as well. But you have the need or the desire, and we all have. Most people have this, so there is nothing wrong with that. But perhaps in life you have been thrashed and bashed and all that, and you didn't have good encounters with these things. So life has taught you कि चुप बैठो, थोड़ा सा पीछे रहो, back foot पे रहो, and all that, and observe and listen and all that. So now you have gone there. So this strategy you have applied in terms of managing the situation. So situation manage कर रहे हो, but उससे खुशी तो नहीं मिलती है ना.
I
You're
have
not
tried
happy
my
with this.
best. I have tried my best to be like what you said, that to be happy connecting people, but every time I was beaten so badly that my confidence level kept going
हाँ,
down and down and down, and
हाँ,
it is at such a level that it doesn't matter much to me, like if I'm connected or not. If I am like
हाँ,
comfortable living alone, because see, I'm in USA and I stay alone in my one BHK apartment. A lot of people told me that why don't you get a partner? At one point of time I thought, but something happened
हम्म,
with me in past, like in USA only, that after that I dropped the idea that okay, I'm fine living alone. It doesn't matter me that somebody is there or not. I will stay alone and I will live happy, and I'm comfortable with that condition. But sometimes
हाँ.
it comes to me that no, I should have someone living with me here, like, but
एग्जैक्टली
that boils
एग्जैक्टली
down to
यही
same
पॉइंट,
thing.
इस पे टिको. नहीं नहीं, इस पे टिको, एक मिनट, ये सही है, ये सही है, यहीं पे टिको. ये आई जस्ट वांटेड यू टू कम टू दिस कि you are living in 1 BHK and you don't have a partner, all that is fine. पर वो जो भी हुआ, whatever it is, I don't know the history and all that because we never discussed, but अभी छोड़ देते हैं उस चीज को. So वो छोड़ दो. लेकिन एक चीज, hand on your heart, you tell me, you still want a partner, right? वो हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है वो छोड़ दो. But do you have the desire or not?
I it means I used to have this kind of desire, but it boils down to the same thing that no, it's fine. We are I'm alone, and it's I feel safe and sound living alone rather than in the company of people now.
वो मैं समझ गया कि ये एक मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेटजी है which you have applied. But I'm saying कि अगर that's what I'm asking. Ideal scenario की बात करें. Forget about how it will be achieved. Hmm? So forget about the how part of it. Just tell me कि can you live like this for the rest of your life?
Um, well, as of now, I think
No, not as of now. I'm saying
I
ideally,
think I
ideal
can.
situation.
No, I think I can now, but it means previously I was very upset and depressed about all these things, but now I've accepted it. and I'm moving on with my life because I'm keeping myself engaged with a lot of things. On weekends, we don't have any work, but I'm studying. I have joined Gita classes. So I just go through Gita and try to understand the things. And I'm just trying to boil down the things that, okay, it's fine. Now I'm done with it. I don't have like much to go ahead with some sort of partnership. I'm still single, so it's fine. I will go
So,
ahead in my life
so
like this. I've achieved.
suppose there is a way to fix this. That's what I'm asking. Suppose there is a way to fix it.
I'm scared of getting it
Then
fixed now because I have tried to fix it myself many times, but it seems that every time I failed, and finally I decided that it's done. I'm happy single because a lot of people in my office, they say that you should get married, you should have someone in life, but I said that no, I'm happy alone. I'm very, very happy now. I don't need anyone in my life anymore because every time I desire for someone, it ends very badly. And so I decided like some time ago, okay, we are done now. No more experimentations, no more hurting yourself. Stay alone and stay happy. That's it.
okay. Mm, okay. Anamika, anything? Anybody else has anything to say, or should we wrap up the call?
Hmm. No, nothing much from my side, but I would still say to Suneet that see all of these things that you're talking about. So, so we can literally sense things. So still, I'm out of a lot of what should I say? Love. I'm just sharing this with you that you cannot heal anything until you acknowledge that that thing exists. So pain अगर है, उस पेन को आप अंडर द कार्पेट डाल के यू डिस्ट्रैक्ट योरसेल्फ. सो यू डिस्ट्रैक्ट योरसेल्फ विद हैबिट्स, good habits, bad habits. So habits are habits, be it good or bad, right? So distractions are also distractions, be it good distraction, bad distraction. So I'm not saying that doing all of these things is not good, but agar if the hurt and pain and this thing is there, because our experience, we have worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. Akarma is like has worked maybe more than with 1,000 people. I don't know. He is working from 20 years. So this is there that all of these problems are solvable. But to solve these problems, you first have to acknowledge कि हाँ अभी ये problem है. ठीक है तो and plus the thing is that you have tried it yourself, right? So I mean, if you have to learn something, so if you have to learn guitar, you will go to a guitar teacher who has been playing guitar and who knows guitar and has the knowledge of guitar, or you will say कि नहीं मैं घर पे बैठ के अभी खुद ही सीख लूंगा गिटार बजाना. So if it is something like your mental health, if
No,
it is something about
no, I think what I'm getting from him is he's saying he's tried everything and it doesn't work. So I get that. I get you have tried everything and it doesn't work, and I don't want to contest that. But I'm saying uh, is that it? So let's not spend too much time on this anymore. I think Lali also has her hand up. So I want to just give him one thought or for Sumit to take away from this. Sumit, we recently worked with one lady in US only. She's from Indian background. We did some coaching work with her in November. It started. She was coming from a very hurtful state. Lot of problems in her relationships, abuse, this, that, and all that. She was very hurtful. Very much similar in your situation, where given up on the fact कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता and all that. Yet she participated. So long story short, 24th of Feb को उसकी शादी हुई है. So within 3 months, she's come out of it, and she's just got married. She not only found the right person, but she just got married on 24th. So that's just I want to say. Ki it's not that कि I don't doubt कि आपने अपनी तरफ से बहुत कुछ ट्राई किया होगा, but again making it a truth कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता, एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हाँ कुछ हो सकता है, मुझे नहीं पता है क्या हो सकता है, बट हाँ शायद दुनिया में कोई हो जो मेरी हेल्प कर सके और मुझे इस चीज से निकाल सके. दैट्स अ डिफरेंट बिलीफ सिस्टम. सो टेक दैट पॉइंट एंड थिंक अबाउट it. Lali, your hand was up. You wanted to say something?
Yes, thank you, Akatma. I wanted to know if a person, a male, doesn't interact or have close relationship with societal people, has interactions but not close in the sense heart to heart, and hello, yeah, and
Yes, yes.
and then uh, he can't read relationships in general. He can't read or um, by general observation learn from society, or the societal intelligence or social intelligence is lost in a person. Then can we surmise regarding anything? Can we make surmises on just that? If a person's social intelligence,
Can we
social
make, I didn't
influence,
get the word, can we make what?
can we conclude anything from that?
Uh, Sorry, I didn't
A
understand the
male
question.
person's social interactions are restricted to not it's not doesn't develop to close relationship. It is okay, societal, okay, he can maintain his popularity, but it doesn't go into deep relationship, and his reading of his social intelligence, in the sense he's an open book, but he cannot be socially intelligent. He cannot read people, he cannot like that. If there is a person, can we conclude about a wounded masculine or feminine? That is my question.
Mm,
Can we
See, that
relate it
sounds
to the topic?
that sounds more like someone is not exposed to to life that well. Doesn't matter if we don't expose our kids to life, don't let them experience and all that. When they grow up and become adults, then we expect them to behave like adults, but we never let them experience any kind of mistakes, hardships, or anything like that. So a general lack of dealing with people and reading, just that um, that social skills part of emotional intelligence. That that lack has got nothing to do with wounded masculine or wounded feminine. Wounded masculine and wounded feminine is more about you know all these things, but you're not able to do it. But you are saying doesn't even know how to do this. That's a general lack of these qualities,
It's
which
not lack. What if
indicates
it's not lack? Sorry. What if it is not lack of exposure? There is sufficient or more than sufficient exposure, but at the same time, there is no observation, there's no study, there's no academicness. That
so
skill
the
is not
person
there.
is not really learning from this exposure. That's what you're saying. The exposure
Yes,
is there, but there is no
yes,
learning from it.
yes.
Yeah. So then, yes, there could be that element because someone could be more behaving from a people pleasing kind of an attitude. They can see everything, and yet they have this tendency to please everyone, unable to say no where they have to say no, not able to set healthy boundaries. Then yes, then that is an indication of wounded family.
There is no reading. The reading is lost. Probably because, supposing if then in childhood, if there is an over aggressive or whatever, over protective or aggressive mother or father, mother, usually a mother, so
Mhm.
then you either protect the child
Yeah,
overly, even if it's a
yeah,
male, protecting the child overly, and
correct,
be told that, okay, you just observe me and do what I said. So that
correct.
person doesn't have an opinion other
That's
than
what I
the
said. Na? So then
parent.
you are saying that is not the case. I don't know. I said that, then that's a lack of, then that's a lack. You
Yes,
said
but
it's not a
in
lack. They are
childhood,
exposed.
that is in childhood, but in adult also, after a point of time, people
But
get
how would you expect an adult to do something if they've not learnt in childhood? So where will they learn from?
but is
Childhood
there a way? Is
habits
there
are
a
just
way?
going to continue in adulthood also.
So what's the way out?
Don't protect. So now, as a wife, also, if you are just playing the role of a mother and overprotecting, then don't let them get hurt. Let them face the heat. Let them get burnt. Let them face the world. Let them do all these things. So once again, the lack of if this is a result of bad parenting, then
Suppose if that
then you
person
have
is not
to
the one
take
who
the
gets hurt.
sorry.
Sometimes that person is not the one who gets hurt. It is other people who are getting hurt.
Of
A
course,
lack
of
of
course,
social
but
skills can.
then you are asking me what is the way out? Then I'm saying the way out is that whatever was they were protected from, you now have to not protect them from that and let it happen. And yes, it will hurt, but then you want to win heads and tails both. So you want them to also behave like an adult and behave the way you expect them to behave, while at the same time you also acknowledge that they don't have the capability of doing it. So how will that happen? If the capability is not there, then it has to be built.
So that means we have to expose such a person. That's what you're saying. We have
Exactly,
to expose that
exactly.
person. But
You
how do
have to
we
expose
expose
that
such a person without it's not? It need not be obvious to people in general
by not
because.
by not protecting them, by not overprotecting them, because the person is in the habit of being protected. Earlier it was mother, now it could be wife. So the person is used to this kind of codependency. It doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter. If capability is not built, it's not built.
But these kind of things are only where your interests are only affected. Uh, See, his own self is not affected. It is his own self is also affected, but we are not concerned about that person's, getting affected. But how do you protect your interest being in within it, other than getting
By
out of something?
accepting, by accepting that this is how it is. If you are talking about your husband, then by understanding that this is what it is, and then you take corrective action from your side.